Okay, welcome to All Things Apple Sig with the Central Kentucky Computer Society. We have 4 presentations tonight. Joe is going to give you some information about recording an iPhone conversation and also messages background. Kurt's going to have some tips on using the Mac. Phil's going to talk about reminders and all the things you can do.
Goodness.
And then also, Ben is going to share 9 tips to get joy from your iPhone this season. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Okay, thank you all for coming tonight. First thing I did want to mention there is a couple of days ago, a new iOS came out, an upgrade to the iOS 26. So don't do it now, but after you get finished here, you may want to plug in and make sure you're on the Wi-Fi and update your phone to the new version. It's mostly security features, and those are always good to have. Tonight, I'm going to do a couple things. One is going to be how to record a phone call, and the other is how to customize your iMessage background. I'm going to start with recording a phone call, and this can be really important. Maybe you just want to capture somebody's voice, maybe a relative or a friend, or maybe you're talking to your lawyer and you need to want to record what he says, or a lot of different reasons. Maybe someone's going to send you a recipe and they just verbalize it over the phone, and you can capture that. In order to do this, one of the first things you do is you go to your settings, and then with the new settings, and this will be in the handout also, but go to your settings and then scroll down to where the apps are and go to phone, and then it'll say audio call recording, and you have to just click that on. It'll be a tab or a slider, and you move it over until it's green. And this will all be in the handout. But I'm going to show you a video now. And the reason I gave you that first information, because whoever did this video missed a piece of it. But it's a good video, and it'll talk to you about how to record. Another thing to mention about this, after you record it, then I'll show you how you can go and listen to it. So let me go share my screen now. Share.
Hey everyone, Technomentary here with a video for you guys. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to record calls on your iPhone on iOS 26. I'm going to first show you how to turn on and enable this feature, and then second, I'm going to show you how to actually use it. So let's get started. So the very first thing you need to do, of course, on iOS 26 is go into your setting and then scroll all the way down to apps. And from the apps, you're going to scroll all the way down to the P section for the phone app settings. So you're going to go to, now once in your phone, just scroll a little bit further down below until you see audio call recording. So we're going to tap on that setting. And then we're going to turn on audio call recording. Now this feature is turned on. We can now actually go ahead and record calls. So we're going to go back here, and to show you how that would work is, let's go ahead and make a call here by opening up the phone app. And let's say I'm going to call this person here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and tap to call them, and it's going to ring on them. So they're going to go ahead and answer the call. Now, once they answer the call here, what we're going to do is click on this option that says more. And from here on, we have an option that says basically record call recording. So we're going to tap on that. And it gives us quick info on this. So we're going to hit continue. And then as you can see here, this call will be recorded. And now this prompt comes up, and it is actually recording our call right now. And then once you're done, you can stop it. It basically tells you when it stops recording, and then it goes to the notes. So you can open up the notes app and see in your notes app the call that was recorded just now. And it gives you even a transcription of this call that you just had. So that's how you use this feature. I hope this video was helpful, so please consider hitting the like and subscribe button for more tips and tricks. See you guys next time.
Okay, that's really terribly simple. All you have to do is hit the more button, 3 dots in a circle, and it'll allow you to do call recording. It does come across your screen as they showed there, and it's announced verbally. So whoever is you're talking to, they know they're being recorded. Yeah, I think that's part of Kentucky law. Both parties have to know the recording's on. And anyway, once you get done with that, you just go to notes and you'll see call recordings there, and you can tap on the recording and it'll give you everything that you just heard. It also transcribes it, which is a pretty good version of it. Sometimes the way we talk is a little hard for Siri to understand. So, any questions on that? Okay, the next
Just
thing.
one thing, Joe. What you said about both parties having to be aware of the recording being in progress. I think that in some states you have to have consent, not just awareness. So if someone objects, you would have to turn it off legally. But I don't know enough about that except just to know that you should be careful. And I don't think that's true in all states.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a position to share information about that if you want me to very quickly.
Go.
Can you hear me? Okay. Some states are, by state law, called two-party consent states, which means that by law you cannot record a telephone call unless both parties to the call have expressly stated their consent. And because there are some such states, that's why Apple has built into this functionality what Joe just described, where it announces the fact that the call is being recorded. However, this is not a problem for us in Kentucky. To address Phil's question, Kentucky is a one-party consent state. Bear in mind that I cannot give you legal advice because I'm not your lawyer, but I can give you legal information, which means that I'm telling you the same thing, but you will not regard it as advice. You will regard it as information. But I know from my experience as a practicing lawyer that Kentucky is a one-party consent state, which means that in any circumstance, quite outside your use of your iPhone, if you consent to recording a call with someone else, that is enough for legal purposes. Needless to say, it might be a courtesy to let them know that you are recording it, but for legal purposes, one party to a conversation can decide to record it even without the knowledge of the other person, because here in Kentucky, we are a one-party consent state.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. And I definitely want to know if I'm being recorded. But anyway, it is what it is. The next thing I wanted to chat with you about is how to customize your iMessage background on iOS. This is for iOS 26, and some of the older phones may not be able to do it. I think it's 18.1 and above can. So now I'm going to share my phone here. Now you can see my phone here. First thing I'm going to do is go to my messages. I'll scroll up here and I'm in my messages here, and I'm going to take this one right here. It's a friend of mine. And up at the top of the screen, when you're in messages, you'll find some information about the person. They may have a picture, an icon, or whatever up here, but we got a ice here. So I'm going to tap on the icon. And here we have some other things that we can do. The thing we're looking at today, though, is backgrounds. So I'm going to tap on backgrounds. And once I do that, I've got a bunch of different options here. Another point here, this is iPhone only. If you've got an Android, it will not work. So here I've got none, different colors, playground, sky, water, Aurora, and down here, a bunch of different options. So if you had a person that you wanted to put in a particular background from one of your photos, you could click on photo and then scroll until you found the one that you wanted. And then this is a mimicking what my screen would look like with the messages on it. So once I've got that picture set, I'll click on the check mark up here. And then if back here, if I send a message to ICE, you can see how it looks here. These are the last things that came up on the screen. And when I send a message to him, then he will get that message. And if you're doing this, make sure you understand that they're going to see it too. So don't put something sneezy here to remind you who they are, because they're going to see it too. So that's as simple as that. And I think that's about it. If you decide you don't want that one, then you can go back up to here, tap on it, and then go back and make a different selection. Once you do that, then it goes back to just a blank screen. Anyway, it's a nice little way to customize your messages with pictures that relate to that person. Any questions on that? As soon as I get done here, then I'm going to go ahead and pop these into the chat room. And they'll be also on the website that Phil talked about a little bit ago. So let me stop sharing.
Joe, I think we had a question earlier about the recording.
Uh-huh.
Someone was asking a question, I think.
Question? Anybody? I didn't look at the chat.
Yeah, it was Edith.
Edith.
But I kind of decided that it wasn't really important, since Ben said that Kentucky was a one-sided state.
Yeah.
But, the question I had was, there is in your widgets, there's a thing where you can record what's on your screen. And my question was, and I've used that, so if you're having a two-way on the speaker conversation with somebody, could you not push that and nobody would know?
It's a screen recording. I don't think it records the voice, though.
It doesn't? I thought it does noise. I mean,
Huh. Okay. I'm not aware of that.
I mean, it does noise of a website or something going on in the background. So I didn't know. I've not ever tried it. I have never felt like I needed to, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I can test it. Thanks.
I hadn't thought of that process, but I'll check it out and I'll let you know. Okay. No more questions. I'll move this on to the next person. And while they're getting started, I'll go ahead and download these into the chat.
Okay, so we'll move on to Kurt. We can.
Yes.
Okay. I've increased the resolution to much, much larger than I usually have, so hopefully you can see stuff this time. Do you see in the upper right-hand corner my hard drive, or it's a solid-state drive up here?
Yep.
Okay. Apple does not use letters like Windows. If you're familiar with Windows, if you have a main drive, it's often called a C drive. Well, Apple gives them names. And out of the box, typically it's called a Macintosh hard drive. You can rename your hard drive anything you want. I had a friend from Versailles, got a friend from Versailles, so a number of years ago I was helping her, and she said, I call my hard drive the black hole because everything she puts into it disappears.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm not sure that's a good thing or not, but I thought it was kind of funny. On your Mac, I don't know, for several years, you could have this appear, your hard drive, or your solid state drive. If you want it to appear, I believe when you buy a Mac, it does not appear. If you want this to appear, you click on the desktop, you go to Finder, which is kind of the file manager of the Mac. It's all on the screen here. Click on Finder, go down to Settings, and then click on General. Show these items on the desktop. Hard disks, which is also solid state disks, external drives, CDs, DVDs, connected servers. I just click them all. So if you unclick it, I can't get my little arrow there. It's gone. It disappeared. And that's a favorite joke of middle schoolers, to mess with their parents' Macs and turn off the hard drive. It's not turned off, it's just not showing on the desktop. The reason I like it on the desktop is because I can double click it and immediately get to my folders in here. My apps, all the apps that I have on here, programs, the library, which I don't go to much because that's the heavy duty stuff that you don't normally mess with. The system, which you don't mess with, that's the OS. And if more than one person is using your computer, they can both have different sign-ons. Your wife, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, a friend, a neighbor, they can have their own sign-on, and it'll show it in here. But that's one thing I wanted to show you. These are tips that I've realized during a Mac class that I just ended that a lot of students didn't know about. And I'll be teaching another class in mid-March. You're all welcome. I'd love to see you because this is the kind of stuff we go through. And at the end of the class, everybody goes, wow, I didn't know that. But there's stuff Apple doesn't tell you. Joe mentioned that everything's been updated to 0.2. That includes Tahoe. The Macintosh operating system has been updated to 26.2. So you can download now and update it. Another trouble spot is your downloads folder. I can't tell you, it's like the photos folder. It's filled with stuff for a lot of people. It's just amazing how much stuff they have in here, and it's clogging their drive. So I empty mine out all the time. And this is the computer I use to create the newsletter. So it's got a lot of stuff goes in here, and then I throw it out because it's heavy duty, takes up a lot of memory. I've got 15 items in here, and that's all. That's all I've got. So if you're on a Mac and you have a downloads folder, it should be on your dock. If it's not, the handout tells you how to get to it if it's been removed from your dock. Go through and delete some of this stuff because you really don't need it in here. No reason to be in there. But the downloads is a problem for clogging your hard drive. Is your firewall turned on? Coming from Apple, it's not. It's a built-in firewall. Click on your Apple menu, come down to System Settings or System Preferences, then click on Network. Go over to Firewall right here. Make sure the slider's turned on, and you've got your built-in firewall turned on. It should always just be left on. And that's one of the first things. When you get a new Mac, if you get a used Mac, make sure this is turned on. Your dock is usually down below, but if you set it, you can set it on the left of your screen or the right of the screen. I always just leave it down at the bottom. These icons down here are meant for you to customize. A lot of this stuff does not come on here from Apple. I put them on here because I use them. Stuff I don't use, I take off of here. There's no reason for that to be on here. For example, and it's real easy, speed test. Removing it from the dock will not remove it from the computer. This is kind of like a launcher. I just hold down on it, go up to options, remove from dock, it's gone. It's still in my applications folder, but it's no longer on the dock. And you can really clean up your dock by getting rid of stuff. You can also drag other applications to your dock. Copylist 2, I don't use that much. Options, remove from dock. Stuff I do use is on here. And when you move your dock, move your cursor over an icon, it shows you the name of what's on your dock up above, so you can determine whether you want to get rid of the stuff off your dock. LibreOffice, yes, I use it, but not a lot. I'm going to remove it from the dock. And there are ways to turn off magnification. You notice when I put my arrow here, my cursor, the icons get bigger when I move it over them. Well, I have that turned on. You don't have to do that. There's so many options you can do that people don't know. There's no reason to leave these as it comes from the factory. Things like FaceTime, I don't use very much, so I take it off the dock. System settings, I don't use that all that much, or move from dock. The way to get there, I can just go on the Apple, come down to system settings, and it's right there. Why duplicate it? Why put it down here? And of course, on the Mac, when you have a little dot underneath something, it means it's open. Up here on the left, it means it's the app or the program that's in control. So you can have a bunch of apps open down here, but you can only have one in control at one time. And there are a bunch of other things you can do. Next week, I'm going to give you 5 more tips, or 5 tips, basic tips to help you with your Mac, because there's so much you can do. It's amazing. There's something called Quick View. Here's when they were throwing out some old phone booths in the 1930s in New York City. I happened to grab that because I thought that was a neat photo. And I have other photos too. This is called Quick View. On the Mac, you can click on an icon anywhere, hit your space bar, and it shows you, it doesn't open it, but it gives you kind of like a whole, it shows you what it looks like. Shows you the picture. You can preview it. So it's kind of cool to be able to do that. But I'll give you 5 more tips next week. And thank you, everybody.
Okay, great. All right. Joe is trying to put his handout in the chat. And for some reason, it's not working, is it?
No, I put them in the chat and they show up there as to be sent. But when I hit on the arrow to send them, it says use Control Enter. I've tried that, and anyway, it doesn't go. Any idea, anybody? Ben?
So we'll work on.
I'm sorry, Joe. I don't know why that's not working for you.
Okay.
Anyway, it's worked in the past, but anyway, if you can't get them, they're in the website that they gave you earlier. Okay.
So Ben, while Phil is talking, see if you can add your handout and see if it will go. And Phil, we're going to turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm starting to share now. So should be able to see my desktop, and let me see. Can you see a series of reminders?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit first about what reminders are, and they are just a to-do list. People have had them forever on paper, now on computers, in phones and tablets and everything. They're just a way of keeping yourself organized. It does take a little bit of effort, but not very much to set them up. And I rely on them immensely, so that if I want to do something in a couple of weeks, I'd make a quick reminder, and then at the appointed time, it will pop up and say, hey, you need to do that thing. So that's a great convenience for me. So let's talk a little bit about how we do what we're going to do. Need to get rid of some Zoom things, excuse me. Once you're in the app, in the top left corner, you see there's an icon for today. That'll tell me all the things that I'm supposed to be doing today. If they're red, then they're past due, and for some reason I haven't done them. There's another one for scheduled. That's things coming up in the future. Starts with past due, so you can maybe play catch up today, and then it will give you chronologically when they are all coming up. Next is all, which is, like it says, it's a list of all the things that you might want to be reminded about. And you can collapse these into categories. So I've got lots of things going on here. Got warranties, cars, tax aid, which is some volunteer work I do, other stuff. And then even another iCloud account that I use for some other things. Next, down the side here is you don't have to have just one list of reminders. You can have several. And we'll come back to that in a short while when we talk about having other people helping you with the things that you need to do. But to begin with, if you just want to create a basic reminder, all you do is click on the plus button, and then it will give you down here an empty space where you can type what it is, whatever task you need to do. So you put a note to tell you what you need to do. You can add a date to it for when's it going to come due. So and it suggests today, tomorrow, or custom, which gives you a date picker on the calendar. So let's say I want to do something 1st of February, click on it, and now I have a date of 2/1/26 in there. If you need to do it at a specific time of day, I can add times all through the day. So I'll put noon on that one. And other things that interestingly you can do is you can add notes, just little bits of backup information. And where'd it go? Yeah, if you click on this I button, there's a whole list of things that you can do, like repeats. If you want something to remind you on the 1st of every month, it will do that. And then further down, we've got other things we can have, like, oh yes, here we've got a URL, so you can put a web page. If you need to go to a particular website to do something for your reminder, this is where you'd put it. What I use that for is I have the registration webpage on the Kentucky DMV in there. So when my car's registration is due, it will pop up and it'll give me a link that I can click on directly and take me to the website so I can renew my registration. So a lot of things that are there, that's just some of the basics. We'll be back in a short while, but I also want to talk about if you've got something like a bit of a more complicated set of things to do. So, oh yeah, here's the example I was just talking about. Renew my Subaru's registration. I've got the information I need, the date it's due, and then here's a link to the website. And I even dropped in an image. There's what I got in the mail telling me that I need to renew it and when it's due and all the other information. So you can pack a lot of information into these reminders and just make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow and get all of the tasks that you need to take care of done in time without forgetting them. Now, that's fine if you just got one single thing to do. If you've got something that's a little bit more involved, there may be several things you need to do as part of it. And that gets us into what we call subtasks. Here I've got an example that I created a little earlier. And let's say I want to look into the something on the Google apps. Okay, that's fine. And I want it done by the end of the year. So I put a date of 12/31 for its due date on there. But the specific things I want to look at are, I want to research Google Meet, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides. Got one in there that's a duplicate, so let's scratch that. If I want to make these other tasks subordinate, which is what a subtask is, then I can click on it, and in the edit menu, you've got an indent command, which also has a keyboard shortcut, which is command brackets. And did you see how it slid over there? Then if I click on the next one below it, I'll indent all of these in turn. So all of these are under the heading of Research Google Apps in this example, and I will check off each of these tasks when I complete them. They each have different due dates. I'm just checking them right now so that I can show you where they are. They just went away because I have a setting to say hide completing tasks. So let's bring those back just for now. When I've got all of these smaller tasks done, I can check off the big one. And it will move it down to the bottom of the list because it's been completed. So that's subtasks. Now, everything we've talked about so far is if you want to do something by a particular time or date. That's not always true. What if you want to do something when you get somewhere, but you're not sure when it's going to be? So let's say I'm going to go to the gym, which is theoretically possible. And on my way home, I want to stop at the post office. So I have a reminder here for stop at post office after gym. We say, okay, great, but I might know which day I'm thinking about going to the gym, but what if I don't go that day? What if it's not at any particular time and I'm running late? Well, then you can make use of the location features that we have. And when we click on the little I for this reminder, down here we've got one for location. It's a little button that we can check, and then it will turn blue and then says enter a location. There are several things that it will use as defaults or conveniences. So there's my current location, there's my home, and then there's when I get in my car and when I get out of the car. If you scroll a little further down though, it will also, whoops, lost it, come back. Let me see. Let's say when I looking for one here, there's should be able to enter an address. So I'll just click in here. I'm trying to think of the address of my gym. So, oh yeah, got it. It can find addresses that you have in your contacts. So I'm going to make use of that. So there it is. I click on it and it will pop up a little map for where that location is. And it also says, do you want to do that when you're arriving or when you're leaving? In this example, I'm saying let's go to the post office, and that's when I'm done at the gym. So I'll click on leaving, and it also puts a little radius around the location that you can click and drag on. So if I'm a good ways away from the gym, it'll remind me. But if I want it to remind me when I'm close in, I can change that too. So when I'm done at the gym and I get in my car and start driving, the first thing I'm going to see when I'm a short distance from the gym is go to the post office. That will pop up on my car display because I've got Apple CarPlay, and that works quite nicely that way.
She said, I done that. She said, you come home last night, you put your...
Okay, so sorry, was there a question there? Okay, so that's locations. You can have it when you arrive someplace, when you leave someplace, and it's whenever you get there or whenever you leave there. It's not tied to a particular time, so that's very useful. And then the last thing I want to talk about is what if you want to have somebody else do something for you? You can actually share a to-do list with somebody. So here's a couple of examples. I've got one here that I share with my son. It's called Nick, and that's from Dad. There's a little Head and Shoulders icon here. So I click on it so you can see what's sharing there. And it shows who's in the list and also if I want to share it with anybody else. In this example, I'm going to leave it like it is because it's just fine. And the people in here, they get notes. If I just put a reminder in their to-do list and they don't know, why would they do anything? And when it pops up, they'll be surprised. So you can notify them when you add a reminder that goes in there. And also when someone's completed a reminder. So in this example, let's say I've got one here for change the oil. My son's not great at maintenance on his car, so I do tend to chide him a little bit. I've got a reminder in here. It says change oil at 105,000 miles. So he'll keep an eye on that. And then down at the bottom, because there's two of us in this list, I can assign it. The default is it's not assigned to anybody in particular, but I can choose if it's going to be him or me that's going to be responsible for completing the task. So I'll check that. And when I click out of it, then his photo will pop up in the icon here. So now my son is going to have a reminder to change his oil at 105,000 miles, which should be any time in the next few weeks. And he's not going to like it because it's cold out there. So that's just a couple of the things that reminders can do. Hope that's clear. Do you have any questions? Okay, I'm done with that then. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you, Phil. We're going to
Thanks,
get
Phil.
to stop sharing, and we will turn it over to Ben.
Okay, I was muted for a while there. I did not want to interrupt anybody else. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Excellent. And if I am in spotlight mode, you should be seeing a Christmas tree ornament with our beloved logo of many years, CKCS, on it. Do you see that?
Yep.
Yes. Excellent. So I had a PowerPoint presentation for my piece of this. It's not actually PowerPoint. It's a different app, but it's that kind of thing. And I will be going through that as the basis of my presentation. I will do this in 15 minutes or so. Thank the other presenters. We're now at 12 minutes before the hour. I may go over a couple of minutes, but not much. So if you're ready to go, let's get started. My presentation is titled 9 Ways to Get the Most Joy from Your iPhone During the Holiday Season. And you might wonder why it is. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Are you going to share that? Are you going to share your screen, or is it going to stay small like that?
If you put me in spotlight mode, it's coming through automatically. I'm not actually using screen sharing in the sense that you would ordinarily understand. I'm running it through the very same app that provides my video feed from my camera. So
all we're seeing is the little box where all the people are. It's showing up where your face used to be.
Okay. So if you can put me in spotlight mode, Brookie, that will show me to everybody else. Looks like you've done that now. Is that true?
No, I have not. I'm looking at spotlight mode because we've not used that. I'm looking at view here, but let me see if
spotlight for everybody.
Well, I was getting it, the whole.
You were getting the whole thing?
It filled up most of my screen.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yes. I was monitoring it on my other computer. There you go. I'm seeing it now. Is everybody else seeing the title screen?
Well,
Nope.
I can go to view, and then I clicked on speaker, and it came up bigger.
If
Joe,
you just put the spotlight on me, that should show everything that's coming through from my feed, whether it's my camera on me or my presentation.
Okay, so
I'm seeing
all
it
I'm
now on
seeing,
my second.
all I'm seeing is
Okay.
a red screen that says joy.
Okay, all I'm seeing still is a small square.
okay, so Joe, go up to view, top right.
On him,
No, on your screen, top right of your whole screen. The whole thing. Top right.
If you have a bar across the top of your Zoom view that includes all of the different participants, and you see me, and right now it's not me, it's instead the red title screen. If you
yeah.
click on that, that should appear largely as the spotlight view.
The options I have when I click under the more is spotlight for everyone.
Yes. See if you can do that.
That's got it.
Okay. Is everyone seeing the spotlight view now?
Yes.
Is everyone seeing my red title screen?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. So since you missed the animation that I loved making, let's go back one step. There we go. What's that? That is the CKCS Christmas tree ornament with the logo that sadly is going to disappear by all accounts. Is everybody seeing that?
Yes.
Yes?
It's
Excellent.
not
So,
animated, but
are you not seeing it, Brooke?
yes, I saw it. It just wasn't animated.
Okay. So let's move forward. My presentation is intended to close us tonight on a very happy, joyful holiday theme. My title is 9 Ways to Get the Most Joy, with emphasis on the word joy, from your iPhone during the holiday season. And I know you're all wondering, why in the world 9? And the answer is, it was 10. It was 10 tips. And then I learned that my friend Phil was covering the matter of reminders, which was one of my top 10 tips. So we dropped that out and we're left with 9. So let's move forward very quickly. This should only take 15 minutes or so. Introduction. I want you to understand that your iPhone can help you in a variety of ways while you are entertaining, making memories, and staying connected with your loved ones during this festive time. We will briefly discuss some helpful holiday uses of 6 apps, and you will see them on the iPhone screen on the right-hand side of this slide. Those are Chat GPT, Photos, Camera, AirDrop, Find My, and Voice Memos. 5 of those are actually native Apple apps. They are part of your operating system. They are part of what you get with an iPhone. And those are the 5 other than Chat GPT. All 6 of them are free, are easy to use, and are powerful in ways that you may not have realized. We're going to move very, very quickly in consideration of your time, but I want you to know that you can read and download full instructions at my own web address. I wasn't sure that we would have everything in place tonight to share all of our PDF downloads. You can find a lengthy, detailed, easy to read explanation of all of this at kaggle.com/iPhone/joy, because we're talking about using our iPhones for joy. So let's jump in. You will see that this presentation is organized in terms of 9 tips. And the first 2 tips relate to using ChatGPT to get the benefit of AI for your holiday test. As you will see on the screen, with an AI app like ChatGPT, which I recommend, you will have a personal assistant, a consultant, a party planner, and a handyman in your pocket throughout the holidays. ChatGPT is powerful, it is incredibly easy to use, and it is free in the App Store. So let's jump in. The first tip among the 9 that I will give you is to use ChatGPT to get fresh ideas for entertaining and gift giving. And I'm going to show you some very real examples of that. Here is example number 1, entertaining ideas. I did this in preparation for this presentation. I asked ChatGPT, what are some good ideas for a New Year's Eve party with a Kentucky theme? It responded almost immediately with ideas about decorations, food, drinks, and party favors. And there on the screen of the iPhone that you are seeing there is a screen capture of the actual response. Let's zoom in on it. You can see my question there at the top. What are some good ideas for a New Year's Eve party with a Kentucky theme? And you will see the beginning of the response I got. You see that it says a Kentucky themed New Year's Eve party is a great idea, warm, festive, and full of character, etc. And it went on for several screens worth with ideas about how to create a New Year's Eve party with a Kentucky theme. Okay, let's jump to another possibility. Activity suggestions. I asked ChatGPT, I have out-of-town guests coming to Lexington for the holidays. What are some good suggestions for group activities? ChatGPT responded almost instantly with an entire list of suggestions specifically geared to Lexington. And there on the iPhone screen, you will see my screen capture of our actual interchange. Let me blow it up. You'll see my query at the top. I have out-of-town guests coming, etc. And you'll see ChatGPT's response, which begins, here are some great group-friendly activities and attractions in and around Lexington that will help out-of-town guests enjoy the best of the region. And within the piece of that you can see, you see that it lists some iconic Lexington experiences, including Keeneland and the like. The response actually goes on for several screens, plenty of information, incredible quality. Okay, so those are 2 examples of how you can use ChatGPT, a free artificial intelligence app, as an idea generator, as a way of helping you think about possibilities. Let's move on quickly to another possibility. Tip number 2 among my 9 are to use ChatGPT to get answers to practical questions around your home. We're not speaking now of generating ideas for parties and events, but just getting answers to practical questions, especially since many of us are now at an age where we would like to solve our own problems without calling 20 and 30-year-olds. So let's look at some quick examples. Help around the house. I asked ChatGPT, why aren't my Christmas tree lights turning on? ChatGPT responded within seconds by providing a complete list of possible explanations. And there's the response. Let me blow it up. You'll see my query there at the top. Why aren't my Christmas tree lights turning on? It responded, there are several common reasons that Christmas tree lights won't turn on. Here's a quick practical checklist you can work through, beginning with one burned out or missing bulb. The answer proceeded to lots of larger possibilities, including a fuse issue, something of that sort, a complete list of troubleshooting possibilities. One more example quickly, meal preparation. I asked ChatGPT, what is the best way to keep multiple dishes warm before serving a dinner? My wife gave me that idea because she said, even for experienced cooks, that's always a challenge. ChatGPT responded within seconds by providing a list of helpful strategies. And there's the response. I'll blow it up. You'll see my question, what is the best way to keep multiple dishes warm before serving dinner? And you'll see the introduction of its response. It's all about using layers of gentle heat and good timing, not high temperatures. Here are the best proven methods from the most effective to the simplest. A complete discussion. So that's another example of how you can now use artificial intelligence not to write a term paper, not to investigate something on an academic level, not to learn about the history of Rome, but to help you plan your holiday activities and answer your holiday questions. It's incredibly powerful, and that's why I put it up first as the first thing that I'm showing you. Okay, let's move on. Those were the first two tips, both of which related to artificial intelligence and specifically the app ChatGPT. As we move into tip number 3, we're now talking about the Photos app. Tip number 3 is create photo albums, and photo widgets in order to display your favorite photos quickly and easily. And you'll see that I have written there by creating photo albums and launching them with home screen widgets, you can be ready to display your favorite photos instantly. Okay? Here's the problem, and we all know it well. You are with someone else at a Christmas gathering. They ask you about your new grandchild or something of that sort. You say, oh, I have a wonderful photo that I want to show you. And you open your Photos app and you start swiping up and down, trying to find the photo that you really want to share with that person. And you're saying to yourself, like this fellow with his hand on his head, where is that photo? It's on here somewhere. The problem, of course, is that we all have so many photos. And by way of illustration, I went back to my photo library 2 years ago. When you look at the iPhone on the right-hand side, you see that I went back to December of 2023. And unsurprisingly, what I see there is 4 photos of a family dinner, almost identical, 4 photos of my grandson with a Christmas plate in front of him, almost identical, and several photos of him outside playing. I need to clean up my photos. We all do. But the short answer is to create albums so that we don't need to swipe up and down through our photo libraries. The solution is photo albums. Photo albums are a view of the selected photos you choose in your photo library. And see what I have written here. Adding a photo to an album does not move it to a different location in the same way that you would move documents between folders on a computer years ago. You're not doing that. All you are doing is tagging that photo to be included in that album. So your album is nothing more than a view into selected photos of your entire photo library. And that should give you some confidence that you can play around with albums without losing or moving or deleting anything. Okay, let's do this real quick. I don't expect you to remember everything that I'm going to show you here, but it will be in your mind on some level. How to create a photo album. It's easy. First thing we do is open up the Photos app, right? Then we make sure that we are going into the collections view, because all of your photos can be seen either as a comprehensive library or as collections. So we're going to select collections. Once we are in collections, we will see that albums are one type of collections. So we will tap on albums. We will then add a new album by using the plus sign, the same way you use the plus sign in many other contexts on your phone. Then we go through the steps. We will add an album name. I created one for this presentation called CKCS. We will select the photographs that we want to be part of that album. We are not moving them. All we are doing is tagging them for purposes of this album. We will then tap the check mark. And now, lo and behold, we see that this new album, you see it there, my new CKCS album, is one of my albums and also appears among my collections. So we've got an album going. We have a curated album of specific photos that we can jump to very quickly to avoid swiping up and down through all of the many photos that are in our photo library. Okay? Now, if you really want to get special, you can go one step further and launch those photo albums from your home screen with a photo widget. And as I've written here, you don't even need to open the Photos app to show your favorite photos quickly. By adding a photo widget to your home screen, you can pop up a photo album the moment you turn on your phone. And on the right-hand side on that iPhone, you are seeing an actual screen capture from one of the pages of my own home screen. This particular page of my home screen is dedicated entirely to photo albums. You'll see that on that page, instead of having a bunch of icons, I've got 5 photo albums. And you can tell just by looking at them that one of them relates to my grandchildren, one of them relates to my family, weddings of my children, my wife, and then in the lower right corner, you will see my dog, Duke. That photo album is all about Duke. So if somebody says, show me some pictures of your dog, I can turn on my iPhone, jump directly to that page of my home screen, tap on that photo widget, and what will happen is that I will go directly to the photo album that I have created for pictures of Duke. And they include, for example, this picture of my wife holding me, this picture of Duke on his first hike on the Appalachian Trail, wearing his booties to protect his little feet. And finally, this picture of Duke, much more recently, where he had gotten big. All of those pictures of Duke are in that album, and I can jump to them instantly because I've created a photo widget on my home screen. Okay, so let's run the numbers real quickly. All of this is in the PDF document, but just to give you a sense of it very quickly, we will press and hold a blank spot on your home screen to enter editing mode. You have done that before just to move your app icons around. That's when you see all of them shaking a little bit, and you see minus symbols on all of them if you want to change around your home screen. But we're not going to deal with icons this time. We're going to tap on Edit, something you may not have noticed in the upper left-hand corner. When you tap on Edit, it gives you several choices, one of which is to add a widget. There are lots of different types of widgets, so we're going to search for photo widgets. Once we find that, we're going to find the photo album widget, which looks like that. It's black and says no photos available because you haven't chosen the album yet. We're going to add that widget. That has placed that new photo widget on the home screen. We're now going to choose the album that we have created that the widget launches. And once we have done that, we've got a new photo widget on our home screen. And it can be dragged around. It can be dragged between the different screens of your home screen, just like an icon, but it's there, it's ready to run. And that takes us to a photo widget screen like the one that I've got that you're seeing there. Okay, let's move on. I know we're after 8. Tip number 4, very quickly, create a shared photo album which you and others can add to instantly. We're not talking here about merely sharing your own photo album with other people. Instead, we are talking about creating an album that several people can contribute to. And so you'll see there that I have written a shared photo album allows family members to contribute and view photos from holiday gatherings in real time. It ensures that everyone is included in the memory making process, sharing their unique perspectives and experiences. It's a shared experience. So let's do the numbers on this real quickly just to put them in the back of your mind. A shared album is different than an ordinary album. First thing you've got to do is to jump into settings and deal with the whole matter of sharing permissions because that's a security issue. So we open up the settings app. We go way down to the bottom to apps. We go to the photos section of settings. This is still in settings. And now that we're in settings for photos, we make sure that shared albums is enabled, that we are allowing shared albums. That is a security issue. Now that we've done that, we can jump over into the Photos app, and in collections, we can select shared albums. They're special, so they have a category of their own separate from your other albums. We add a new shared album with the plus symbol. We give it a name. For example, I gave it CKCS Holiday Party. We send a request or an invitation to participants. You can see where I sent one to my wife. When you do that, they are invited. They don't have to respond immediately, but they can respond saying that they want to be a participant in this shared album. You want to make sure as you jump back into the settings that you have selected participants can add photos. They're not only going to see it, they're going to be able to contribute to it. Now all of that is in place. We check mark it. We've now got a new shared album. And in this example, I have called it the CKCS Holiday Party. It doesn't have any pictures in it yet. That's why it's blank. So let's tap on the plus symbol, add some pictures. I added a screenshot of Brookie's Ho 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 invitation. I added it. Now we've got an album. We've got a shared album. It's a shared album called the CKCS Holiday Party. It's got the Ho 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 invitation in it. And my wife, Sid, could add to it if she wanted because I invited her as a contributor to this shared album. In the context of your holiday gatherings, that means that everybody in the room, all of your family members, everybody who is there can take their own pictures and add them to a shared album for everyone to see. Let's move along real quick. I'll move through this quickly. Tip number 5 is simply to learn how to use different camera settings in order to take the best photos in different situations. Most of us open our camera on our phone, and by default, we see that the setting is for a photo, and we just take the photo. But we are missing some really great features that the camera app provides. One of them is portrait. At the bottom of your photo app, when you are taking a picture, if you slide left and right to go from photo to portrait, portrait mode is special. It's like having Photoshop built into your camera. When you choose portrait rather than photo, your iPhone will automatically do some work on the picture you take. It will create a depth effect. It will blur the background while keeping the subject of the photo in sharp focus, making your photos look better. All you've got to do as you start the photo there at the bottom of your camera screen is to slide to the left from photo to portrait, and Apple's version of Photoshop, if you will automatically make it a better. Real quickly, another example is that in the options that appear in the top right corner of your camera, you will see night mode, which enhances low light photos. It uses computational photography. It allows you to capture a special moment in candlelight or the like in a way that will be a good photo. And the third thing that I will tell you about very quickly is burst mode. Burst mode is sort of hard to get into. I don't know why Apple has made it difficult to get into, but you've got the instructions in the PDF that I have given you the link to. I'll show it to you again. Burst mode, when you do it, means that you take 12 or 15 or 20 pictures in rapid succession. And that means that you get exactly the picture that captures the smile, or in this case, the people in the air. You are taking pictures rapidly, just like here in Kentucky, the photographers who shoot the finish of the Kentucky Derby and take about 100 pictures over the course of 1 second in order to get the perfect picture. You can do that also with your iPhone. Okay, let's move on very quickly. The last several tips I've got are short and sweet. Tip number 6 is to use AirDrop to transmit a photo instantly and easily. How many times have you been in a party where you show someone a picture and they say, "Oh, that is so great. I'd love to have that. Will you text that to me or email that to me?" And they're standing right there with an iPhone, and you got the picture on the iPhone. You don't need to text or email a photo to someone who is standing next to you with an iPhone, because you can use AirDrop to pass it over to them instantly. Let's show how that works. You open the Photos app. Here I'm showing a beautiful picture of the Thanksgiving dinner prepared for me by a daughter-in-law. You select the sharing button that you might be familiar with. The sharing button appears in many different apps. You select AirDrop as your means of sharing, not messages or mail or anything else, but AirDrop. You select the person standing near you that is the recipient. Your phone will automatically recognize a person standing near you with an iPhone. You then send it to them, and once you send it to them, they see it on their phone. You see an indication on your phone that it has been sent, and you send it to them. It's that easy. It is that easy to use AirDrop, and people don't use it as much as they should. Okay, real quickly. Tip number 7 is to use Find My built into your iPhone to keep track of family and friends during travel or in large crowded venues. The Find My app allows you to track the location of family and friends, providing peace of mind during holiday travels. You can easily share your location with loved ones and them also with you, so as to ensure that everyone knows where to find each other during road trips or in large crowded places. Here's how it works. It has to be done by the person who is going to share their own location. That's obviously a security measure. That's to prohibit trolling and that kind of thing. The person, you must ask the member of your family, you're traveling here to Lexington. I'd love you to share your location with me to give me peace of mind. So they open up their location in Find My. They go into the people section of Find My. They find you, they add you, they share the location. Now you are able to see their location as they move around. And to show you what you, the recipient, is able to see, here's an example. My wife drove to Liberty, Kentucky on Sunday morning to deliver a sermon. I did not go with her, but I am able to see her location through Find My because she shared her location with me. So here I see her at Man o' War and Tates Creek Road about to leave town. And now here I see her in Liberty, Kentucky. I was actually able to see her progress all along the way in order to see that she made it despite the cold weather. That's how Find My works. Okay, moving along as fast as I can. Tip number 8 is to use an app that doesn't get the respect it deserves. That is the Voice Memos app, which allows you to take information down quickly and easily. It allows you to record thoughts, reminders, or important information, ensuring that you don't forget key details during the busy holiday season. It's a convenient tool to capture information without the distraction of typing. Many of you are comfortable with opening up the Notes app and making a note while you are standing with someone who gives you their phone number or the like, but it's much easier to use the Voice Memos app. It is a simple, elegant app that works just as easily as it possibly could. It is a fast and easy way to capture information. You open up the Voice Memos app, put it on your home screen. It's part of your Apple apps. There's no complication. You tap on the red button to start a recording. You start recording. You see those voice waves moving as you record. You stop when you're ready, and now it is a recording. And one thing that I did not put in these screens is that once you have recorded it, you have an option there to transcribe it. Apple's apps can use artificial intelligence to transcribe the recording into words. You can then drop it into your notes. You can drop it into a contact. You can use it as text wherever you like. So you're capturing it as a voice and then transcribing it into text words. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly easy. And here is tip number 9. At last, my last tip is that you can use the same app, the Voice Memos app, to capture special moments unobtrusively. We have a natural inclination to pull out our phone and start taking a picture whenever anything special happens. But sometimes that gets in the way. So let's think about the Voice Memos app as a way of capturing sound that does not involve lifting up your iPhone to take a picture of someone. So, as I have written there, the Voice Memos app also allows you to capture family prayers, or a toddler's words, or a dinner table laughter, other pressure sounds without disrupting the moment by pulling out your camera. It's a great way to preserve memories that you can revisit later without being intrusive. So at a holiday gathering, you can just quietly pull out your phone, jump into the Voice Memos app, start recording, lay it next to your new grandchild on the floor, lay it on the table as the dinner prayer proceeds, and capture it without saying, oh, let me take a picture. So that's another great use of the Voice Memos app. That's tip number 9. That is the last tip. Once again, you can get a full discussion of all of this at cowgill.cloud/iPhone/joy, as in joy for the holidays. And that's all, folks. Let's start feeling some joy, and we all want you to have happy holidays from your friends at CKCS. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, that sounds great. At this point in time, we'll get, can you remove